The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Some white people want to understand the reason to which blacks and whites can never unite. Why is it that we wouldn't put aside all these things that are dividing us so that we unite as a people? And this was asked by some white lady to Minister Farrakhan, and he answered them beautifully. According to him, we have been treated badly. The blacks have been treated badly, and we are still treated badly. We are made poor for them to enjoy. The ancestors made sure that we, the Africans, can never be on our own. We will never have the time to enjoy the resources that we have. These people have managed to do everything possible in their power to keep the black person where the black person is supposed not to be, for their own interests. According to him, these people don't even know what is happening around them. That is why they do not understand. And sometimes these people do not understand the pain that they've caused the black person. They want to know why we cannot unite as a people. There are a lot of differences or things that these people have done that is making us not be able to unite with them. One, when we look at the slave trade history, have left a wound in the hearts of the blacks. These people strip us of our names, like Minister Farrakhan told them. Today we speak even the language that is not ours. We bear names that are not ours. We were given a religion that isn't ours. We are stripped off of everything black. Our tradition, our culture, our identity is missing. And today we are wearing an identity of somebody that isn't of the black person. So we can never do away with the pain that these people caused us.
I would just like to say that I am terrified that even you, someone who's obviously educated, has given up hope completely. Like when you call upon us, you say white folk, you say black people, Jewish people. Why can't we come together? We obviously can come together. We just have to. We just have to find a way to do it.
The desire is good, but the reality is the total opposite of your desire. And unfortunately, as a young lady, you are not in the position of power to make the decisions to make America work. May I, as an audience of intelligent people, I would like to just take a moment to say to you that I really don't think you fully understand what has happened to these people that you look at as second class or inferior citizens in this nation. Black people who were brought to this country were stripped of their names, language, culture, religion, God, and taken totally away from the history of themselves. Here are 30 million people who don't wear their own names, they wear your names. Who don't speak their own language, they speak English, which is not their language. They never were allowed their own cultural expression of Africa. Don't you realize that when you turn a people upside down and inside out, then sell them not for a day, not for a year, but for 300 years, and deny us the human right to know, to read a book, to learn, to understand. And then after 300 years of that, you allow us into the church, but by that time you've painted Jesus white, God white, the angels white, and then all these black people have been subjected to a form of white supremacy, which produces in the reverse a black inferiority. And this is fulfilling what Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And as long as our people think the way they think, we will never be able to do what we as a people should do to correct our condition.
Over here, please.
Several people in the audience have said the things that he's saying, but you really haven't...
What I'd like to say, there was somebody over there in the audience who said that they were afraid, they were scared when they were talking about the what he was saying, you see. And what I'm saying is, the other day, you asked Mandela that same question about fearing, white people fearing, you know, what will the black folks do and stuff. We should be running down the street screaming, ramping, and raving, because when you look at the statistics, who is the one dying? From the policemen, from the KKK, from the skinheads, from the black people.
We're getting scared. It should be the people.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It should be us who should be scared, or y'all sitting here.
Excuse me, I was brought up in, quote, Bedford-Stuyvesant in my town. But I would like to say what scares us is I think we hear violence.
May I respond? Yeah. May I respond, please? I'm sorry.
All right. Minister Farrakhan, would you explain why it is relevant at this stage in 1990, with all that we've gone through, why it is still relevant to try and to educate or to get white people to understand the plight of black people? Shouldn't the energy be directed to us?
Right on. If I may, my work is directly to black people. I spend 99% of my time dealing with us to help us reform our minds and spirit that we may do for ourselves. However, when you live in a society like this, and we know that in order to effect a solution to a problem between black and white, then there's going to have to be some meaningful dialogue between black and white in order to effect a solution. The young lady said she's afraid of violence. And isn't it sad that we who have been the victims of so much violence, now whites fear violence from us? We do not have a history of killing white people. White people have a history of killing us. See? And what you fear, may I say this, sir? What you fear, and it's a deep guilt thing, that white folks suffer. You are afraid that if we ever come to power, we will do to you and your fathers what you and your people have done to us. And I think you are judging us by the state of your own mind, and that is not necessarily the mind of black people.
I'm with you in that you're talking about wanting to have meaningful dialogue, and that's a problem. You know, right away, I don't know what's going to make whites happy, for Pete's sake. You know, you're talking about trying to find a solution to your problem. You're trying hard to do that, and we're tuning you right out. We're arguing with you. We're not agreeing with anything. We're not trying to give you a chance. For Pete's sake, you know, what do we want?
Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Farrakhan, there's a situation now where 1 in 4 black males are in prison or in jail or in some type of probation situation, okay? When I look around, even myself being a black reporter, okay, and they talk about racism, of a black and white person go to the job, a black person is going to get the job, I never find that out. And we're in New York City with a black mayor, and I still haven't seen it. And when I see Minister Farrakhan, not only the brothers enlighten me, but he gives me hope to not give up, not go get a pistol and stick somebody up, okay? So when I see you, not only are you the light and the hope, but I think, white America, you need to listen. And please don't harm this brother, because we love him.
Yeah.
Hang on, Linda. Yeah.
Getting back to what she said, what exactly do we have a problem with? Before you made a statement, you said that I think that, well, not I, you said that white people think that you're inferior to us. I don't believe that. I'm part of the youth of America. I am not prejudiced. I feel more prejudiced right now than I've ever felt. Not against black, I am not prejudiced against black people. Some of my best friends are black people. I am, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
You let him speak, let me speak.
Yeah. You wanted to speak to this young woman?
No, I didn't want to speak.
Who wants to talk to her? Yes.
No,
Yes.
what do you mean you feel more prejudice right now?
Because the way he's saying
Because what?
what he's saying right now, I mean, I feel that you are prejudiced towards white people.
But excuse me. I think it's like he said, it might be a fear or misunderstanding that you have, because what fear has he put, or what has he actually said here today that makes you feel prejudiced?
I think that he said that we think that they're inferior. I think it's partly part of your own complex that you have to get over, because I don't feel you're inferior. I have nothing against black people.
Let me answer her. This is the, excuse me, this is the situation. Every young white adult says, I have not done this to black people. I have not done that to black people. But your forefathers are the ones who have set us in the situation we are in. Now, what I'm saying is this. When Nat Turner stood up, you all rejected him. You killed him. When Marcus Garvey stood up, you all rejected him, enslaved him. He died a broken heart. Now, what I'm saying is this. Your fathers have put us in the condition we are in, and today you are profiting from what your forefathers have done. Now, my grandchildren are going to be raised, and your children are going to say to them, they have not done to them, because you are the ones who are going to do to my grandchildren what they're going to experience if the situation continues. Now, what I'm saying is this. When we talk about America falling, what we are saying is this. If you all want to control America, then we must have a land base that we control. You all cannot continue printing the dollar bill and then expect us to abide by your rules when you do not want to give us jobs. Therefore, I'm saying that we have now got to come into negotiations, and Minister Farrakhan is the man to listen to.
It becomes apparent more and more as we listen to each other and try to talk to each other that we don't perceive reality the same. And as we're talking about either reconciling differences or separating, it becomes clear that if two people are looking at the same thing and perceiving it so differently, then the two people are operating under a different stimulus. And so when the young lady says, I am prejudiced, to be prejudiced means to judge before the fact. After 400 years of living and experiencing, we're not prejudiced. We are looking at the reality of what we have suffered and continue to suffer.
Are you there?
Yeah.
So sick and tired of this chip that you're carrying on your shoulder. We have bent over backwards. We have done backflips to make you feel equal. And yet, we've done everything.
Somewhere is not reading the newspaper. Yes.
I would like to know, as a mother and a grandmother, what can we do to instill in our children coming up? The older ones, we can't do anything with them, but the little ones is coming out. What can we do as mothers to help? Because we can't leave America. We have our roots here. We would like to stay, but we would like to make it a better America.
If we wish to make our children better, one of the things we have to do is to teach them the knowledge of themselves. As a little boy, my blessed mother kept instilling in me the love and the pride of being black. She made me to know my history, to know my roots. So I grew up with a love for myself and secure within myself, never feeling inferior and certainly not feeling superior, but that chip on the shoulder that the young lady spoke about is my self-assurance, my confidence, my ability to speak the truth without fear. I don't bend when I don't have to. I don't scratch where I don't itch. I look white people in the eye and speak honestly and truthfully and candidly and unhypocritically to you. That's not a chip. That's just self-assurance that comes from self-knowledge. Teach your children that, and whether we are here or there, we'll be able to make a future for ourselves.
Now, where are you going? Are you going then back to the homeland? Are you going back to the African continent? Is that your idea?
You know, again, all of these black people here have a stake here. We have a stake here, I think, that is more valid than those who just came here a few days, a few years ago. These are the children of those who built this. So, yes, we can go there or we can stay here. If we stay here, then why not separate and give to the children of those who built this country land and reparations that we may go and do something for ourselves. Now, I did mention, however, that there is the possibility of some of us returning to Africa. Africa is in need of the scholarship that we have gained from our sojourn in America. And just as England let go some of her convicts who had no hope, languishing in prisons, to help build this, and just as Britain let go of her convicts to build Australia and New Zealand, we have 609,000 black young men behind prison bars with no hope at all. Since we have the ability to reform them, let us reform them. Give us our power. Look, wait, just 1 minute. Since Africa had a part in our coming here, for it was some African brothers of ours who helped to sell us. And there were some Arabs who had a part in it. There were some Jews who had a part in it. There were some Europeans who had a part in it, but the death blow was dealt by the slave masters here in what is called now the United States. So since we didn't give up our right to Africa, then why should not we petition our own kith and kin to set apart for the children of the slaves certain land and territory that some of us, particularly those who have no hope whatsoever in the society, let them go to begin to build a new reality for themselves and for their people.
In the homeland, in the land from which their kith and kin originated, and from which they came. Now, those who choose not then to go to Africa,
again, they have as much right here as you do.
Well, but
when you want to relegate somebody to a specific place, just remember what your origin is in this world. Please, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I want you to understand that you, wherever you are on the earth, you're not a native anywhere. You came there and took it from the native people who are there. So please don't talk about going back, because if others talk to you about that, where would you go?
White, polka dotted, all have equal opportunity. They can make it.
The lady who raised the point that America is a great land of opportunity, we can't deny that America has given everyone who has come opportunity. But to the blacks who built this, I suggest to you, miss, you are not qualified to speak for us. You are not qualified to speak for us. You are only qualified to represent yourself and your opinion. But really, those of us who have suffered this, we know what we're talking about.
When we look at the Berlin Conference, sitting to petition the African continent, making sure that the African is not on his or her own, dividing and taking control over everything of the African. We'll look at the Second World War, when over 2 million blacks were taken to fight. And these people, according to reports, we've lost this number. And these people have not done anything to pay us of our losses. The number of people that were taken out of the African continent, millions of people. Today, when we look at the United States of America, we see the sweat of the black person, because it is the blacks who made the United States of America to be what it is. When we look at Europe, we see our natural resources. When we look at every part of the West and America, all we see is the sweat of the black person. So when we look at these things with history, we can never forget the pain that will make us unite with Yellow Papa. We look at the education they've given to us, memorization, and even with that, they have to deny us for years education. So we are not able to catch up with them. And even till date, the kind of education they've given to the black person is something that is nothing to write home about. Learning somebody else's language isn't education. Giving us education that we can only memorize isn't education. Education that is only telling us to name the past of something isn't education. Education that we cannot transform the knowledge we've acquired into a skillful thing is not education. As they are giving their people skills, they are giving us nothing. When we need materials to read in school, that's the time they give us scriptures. When they are busy training their children with the requisite skills, we are giving books telling us how we need to prepare, for the kingdom of God is at hand. Yellow Papa gave us religion, and this religion is killing us in Africa. Instead of the African to rise up and fight for the continent, we are rather fighting so that when we die one day we will inherit the kingdom of God. The narrative that these people have given us is making the African never to rise up. And we are not able to see beyond whatsoever that they've given to us. We have thrown everything of ours away. The religious aspect, the spirituality of the African, what makes us a people, has been thrown away. And these same people that has brought the religion to us, these people don't even practice the same religion. They don't even follow it with their hearts, like the way we have thrown everything away, and all we are thinking about is how we'll die and inherit the kingdom of God, how we'll go and walk on gold somewhere, yet the gold is on earth, and these people are doing everything possible to take away everything of the African gold. And Africans cannot see beyond the religion for us to ask ourselves, if truly there is gold these people have discovered, why is it that they are not going there to inherit it? And they are rather doing everything possible to take everything that is on the African continent. Look at what they are doing to our brothers and sisters in Congo. Congo has never known peace because of the mineral resources. Yet the African keep praying every blessed day, waiting for the day we will die and inherit something. If truly there is a place like that, these people would have been there. If they can never allow us to come into their countries and they are expelling us from their countries, what makes you think that there is a place like this that they will allow you, the black person, to come and inherit? We look at the political aspect as well. Politics in every aspect. These people have managed to give us a system. They've designed systematic systems for us. And that is what is killing us in Africa. The politics that they've given to us is killing us in Africa. They make sure that they give us leaders that can never help us do anything for ourselves. The leaders that they'll put in place to make sure that whatsoever that they want, their interests will always prevail. And these people will do everything possible in their power to use their political powers to make sure they please them. And we will continue to be suffering. And that is why we have leaders that will do everything to destroy the continent, our water bodies, our forests, and everything. Yet these people are quiet. Even when we come out to voice out that we are not pleased with these leaders and we no longer want them to lead us, these people will keep mute. But the leaders that will rise up and fight them, fight oppression, fight for freedom, these are the leaders that these people are tagging as bad. And we are buying into their ideology. So there are lots of things that are making us not to be able to unite. When we take the culture, like these people are bringing trumu, forcing us to accept trumu, which we know that is against the culture of the African. In Africa, man, woman, woman, man. But these people are saying man, man, woman, and they are imposing it on us, knowing very well that we are a people of our own and we have our own culture. Our culture forbids that. Yet these people do not. And so the culture differences will never make us to be able to unite with these people. And we know when Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso rose up, they are using their media outlets to make sure that they spread propaganda concerning the heroes that have risen in Africa. And sometimes when I call my heroes are all the saviors, the protectors, the unifiers, the messiahs, the king of kings, people still sit there and be quoting me. Quoting colonization, the books that colonizers brought to Africans and told that there's somebody who is a king of kings. I don't see that person as a king of kings. I see my heroes like Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, Gaddafi, Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goïta, Abdurrahman Cheni. These are the people I see as my king of kings. So please, when I address them in that manner, don't come here and be telling me that Jesus Christ is the only king of kings. I don't share your belief, please. When you come, just listen to the message and go. However, I decide to address my heroes. That one, please, just let it be. Like Bob Marley would say, emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. No other person can do it if we are not able to do it by ourselves. Anything that wasn't given to us by our ancestors, and it was brought by these colonizers, you should know that, and you are still holding on to it, you should know that you are still under colonization. That one is a fact. So we have to do away with anything that these people brought to us, and that way we will be able to stand firm to fight for the African continent. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in the United States of America.